of injuries in my professional career, even before my professional career, even post. And I'm always reflecting back on like early life years to be like, why did I have so many issues? And nutrition is kind of like this one area that probably only in the last few years I've really started to think back to what I used to eat as a kid. And by the way, like, my parents listen to this podcast. I know dig at my parents at all. Back then, like, it wasn't conversations. Didn't know how bad canned drinks were. And it wasn't even their fault. Like, if they told me not to drink it, I'd fucking drink it anyway. So, you know, like 2 or 3 cans of like Coca-Cola or like iced tea every day, chocolates, sweets, Oreos and milk, ice cream. Like, my digestive system was just a mess, genuinely, for like 15, 20 years. And I wonder, you know, the impact that had then into later life. And if that was a big contributor to why I had so many injuries, why I felt like I recovered really badly, why I had like skin issues. Like, I never had, it wasn't acne, but I definitely would get like flare-ups of small parts like psoriasis or just like itchy skin. I would get these like blemishes that were like, I guess it's like just a histamine reaction, right? Where it looks like a mosquito bite. And then everyone would be like, oh, you got a mosquito bite behind your ear. And I'm like, there's no, this is middle of winter. Like, there's no mosquitoes. But for years I'd be like, yeah, mosquito always bites me in that exact place. But now I'm like, that's just so silly. So it's kind of like, I don't even know where I'm going with this, but it's, you know, it's connecting the dots. Like, I'm sure that had an impact on me.
It does, 100%. And when I work with clients, I do a thorough health history, asking what was food like when you were a kid. Has there been a huge history of antibiotic use? What about over-the-counter medications? Because yes, it's what within your health timeline is causing you to present as you are in health now as an adult. And 100%. Oftentimes I'll talk to clients and they can maybe pinpoint to one specific turning point in their life that they're like, yep, that was the reason, or that was the thing that caused the tipping of the scales when it comes to all of these health conditions and gut symptoms to start presenting. But yes, I mean, you know, digestive health starts even preconception, you know, depends on what your mom's microbiome is, depends on if you were breastfed, depends on if you were C-section or vaginal birth. That's all very, or obviously uncontrollable factors. But the diet and the lifestyle has a huge driver to what things will look like when you're an adult.
Yeah. And it's like, even now, if I do get sick, which isn't very often, but when I do get sick, there's almost always a positive correlation in the functionality of my gut at that point in time. And that's not, I'm not getting blood tests done, but I'm just, you know, just a quick analysis of my stools and being like, okay, that doesn't look right. And I've got a cold. And it's like, there's no coincidence, right? And often the cold or the flu will come at the end of maybe a 1 week or 2 week period where my gut is not great and I'm feeling fine, and then suddenly you get sick and you're like, okay, there were the signs were almost always there. And I guess the more and more I become aware of this, the more I'm able to now, you know, catch it early. Because it's a thing, right? You can actually, your body's amazing at just finding a way to get you through life. You know, the sympathetic system drives up and it's like, well, Ed, you got some hardship to do this week, we're gonna get you through that. And everything's a bit numb, you feel fine. And then, but now, you know, using something like my stools and just the general feeling of how my gut feels like it's functioning, and I feel like I've almost developed a much better connection with that. And I actually like listen to it now. So if I have a couple of days where I'm like not feeling great, I'll like step up my game and picking cleaner choices. You know, being more diligent with my chewing, hydrating a little bit more, stepping up on my lifestyle factors, just because I'm like, okay, I think I need to step up in this area.
No, that's great. Those are all wonderful things. And it's interesting to say, like, the seeming deterioration in the gut that was viewed as like changes in your bowel movements followed or preceded a respiratory related thing that came on. So again, like a very large correlation between gut health and general health and bodily functions.